We're a fast fashion business in Manchester, and we are mainly focused on females, which are between 18 and 30 years old. Fast fashion it's a very price sensitive market, and our shopper tends to want to buy the dress for the weekend. So we find our sort of high points in traffic tend to be on like a Thursday night when our customer wants to buy their dress to go out on the Saturday night.
I look after both the front end kind of website products, so the UK site and the international sites, as well as the app, in kind of context of its front end usage, as well as the digital marketing activity of the business.
It's been a very fast growth sector. I think that the rise of the influencer, particularly on Instagram and other social media platforms, has been sort of meteoric. I think that those people, we work with them and we collaborate with those influencers in order to attract a new market to our business, and hopefully we keep them as a customer, and we keep our lines fresh continually. So we'll probably bring in new products every single day, and there might be up to 150 new lines. There are always launches happening all the time, so it's a very, very busy business. This is a continual challenge, because every time a consumer needs to come to whether it be our app or our website, they need to see a new offering. The website needs to feel like it's a brand new promotion or collection each and every day. So it's a continual battle, if you will, to keep the website fresh, keep the technology fresh, and keep things moving at a pace, so the customer always feels like when they come back, it's different from the day before. For us, the software development's really, really important. So we in-house only have quite a small team. So we're continually dealing with the trading demands of the business and managing the e-commerce platforms that we've got. And we also want the agility where we need the agility. So when I say that, what I'm talking around is our ability to be able to easily change and develop and test new ideas on our front end for our website and our app. We've got to keep our UX up to speed. We've got to keep on trying to innovate and improve what we're doing in order to make that shopping experience. We want to enrich it, but we also want to make it very, very quick for the customer to be able to find the product that they want and then check out as quickly as they can. It's quite challenging in terms of retaining your team here in Manchester. It's an incredibly competitive technology landscape for people. So hiring and retention's always a constant challenge. We've got so many businesses here in Manchester now, which is great, for the general local economy, phenomenal. And again, there's a lot of fast fashion businesses as well out of Manchester. It's like the hub, if you will, for fast fashion. We used a SaaS-based platform, and it's incredibly good to get you to market fast. So the objective was, at the time, we had no app, and we needed an app, and we needed to get it delivered in a month, not 6 months. We have an app because obviously when we get our customers on board, we want to make them sticky to our brand. So having that customer with that app in their pocket is really important. Whereas the website's kind of, a lot of the traffic we get from there is paid for traffic, which just isn't as sticky and is a bit more speculative in terms of bringing them to the website. So that got us to the races, but it's a very rigid offering. If you imagine that app can deal with incredibly big businesses, and is particularly strong in fast fashion actually. But when it comes to wanting to be able to create your own identity within that ecosystem, it can be quite restricting. And also, from an engineering perspective, a lot of it was a black box. Key things what we wanted to do is take control of our own app, be in charge of our own destiny, and then forge forward with that.
The SaaS-based solution that we had previously was obviously something that we didn't own, and therefore not only did it mean that we were very limited in terms of what we could do with the app, it also meant we were hooked into a quite expensive contract that was obviously rolling for indefinitely. That meant to really kind of gain on a kind of return on investment basis became very difficult, because there wasn't much we could do to optimize conversion on there. So it was a kind of it is what it is solution. Whereas obviously with the new installation, sky's the limit in terms of what we can do on there, how we can customize it.
Finding people with the adequate experience in Manchester, it just became too hard. The day rates were very expensive, and they were a scarce commodity, full stop. So regardless of how much you wanted to spend, you just couldn't find the people. So that became apparent that was a no-go. We looked at then UK app-specific development agencies, and we had a mix. We had sort of what you might call a tier one sort of supplier of mobile applications. And whilst the work they'd done was very impressive, the overall cost to market was so expensive that it just wasn't feasible for us to do that. And also with the technology choices we wanted to make, they weren't really in favour of adopting. They wanted to do it their way rather than the way we wanted to work, because we needed something sustainable that we're always going to eventually be able to bring house. And then we looked at quite small boutique type offerings, and it was kind of from the sublime, incredibly expensive platinum sort of service to the ridiculous, which was the cost being so underbaked. I just knew instinctively that it just wasn't realistic. They hadn't thought through the scope. They hadn't thought through how long it would take to actually build the app. So that kind of ruled itself out. Then, of course, we had the option of offshoring and getting an engineering arm via another business. I'd done some offshoring before, which was in Vietnam. So I had some experience of doing that, which had its challenges, if you will. But we came across Godel, and then it was probably a 5-week period from when we agreed the contract through to when we started the project. And that was another advantage really of being able to get an engineering team with the right skill we needed at the speed we needed. I was very doubtful how many other people could achieve that, so that was really good that we got up and running so quickly. I felt like quality was very important to Godel. And when we eventually brought our product in-house, I wouldn't be left with a lot of technical mess to deal with, so I got a really good feeling about that. Also, and I learned more about this when I actually went out to Minsk, was the general ethics of the business and the way that they look after their engineers, and it doesn't feel like you're dealing with a sweatshop, and you have to excuse the pun, in that the way that the ethos of the business and how it looks after its people is really, really key to us as a business, because we want people to be looked after well. So the training that they provide, the offices that are provided, the facilities that are provided, were very, very good. So I think ethically that we were very well aligned, very, very easy to do business with. Obviously a Manchester company as well, which is great. So yeah, that's why we picked Godel, and also I think in between the sort of really small cost, which was, like I mentioned, just so out of scope, it wasn't believable really, to a really expensive cost. I felt like Godel was a good compromise in the middle. We had timing challenges. So our peak trading period is sort of the cyber period, which was in November. We agreed sort of contractual terms with Godel in April, and we needed to build and deliver the app before that peak trading period to maximise that return. And we achieved that as a team, which was fantastic. So there's very, very few projects which I can remember where certainly when it's a new technology, it's not very deterministic in terms of what the outcome's going to be, where you still sort of deliver within reasonable timeframes around when you expected. A lot of people can give timelines out, but I'll be honest with you, most of the time we're just guessing, because you don't know until you've done something. Until I've built a house, I don't know how long it would take to build a house. So how could I sort of purport to sort of be able to be an expert in building a React Native app when I've never done it before? But you can still take an educated guess for a feel, and so we used the peak period as a key time to meet to get our minimum viable product.
From my point of view, it was pretty seamless. Seeing the changes made by Godel, getting that kind of reflected in the app to then test and feedback again, was pretty quick turnaround, pretty seamless. So yeah, positive experience definitely.
So in terms of the success of the project, I think the first success is we made that peak time frame, which was great. Other successes have been that we've now got our own app which is our own identity. So we've been able to create something which is unique to us, and I no longer have a cookie cutter app. We've got something now which we can optimize ourselves. We've got a lot of agility with that. And now I would say, fast forwarding on, only 10 months from when we started the project, I'd say we've probably got one of the best apps out there in the marketplace. And you're comparing our app with businesses which are, I don't know, 20, 30 times our size. So we definitely got a differentiating factor with that as well. So that's a key success story. And we are seeing customers return to our app more than ever. And we're enjoying, obviously, the fruits of the revenue which comes from that.
It's definitely a lot easier to manage. A lot of what my team do is obviously very process driven, and having to manage 5 international sites as well as a custom app across what is quite a lean team in my ecom team is no mean feat. So the fact that it is very kind of user friendly, very responsive, is a big improvement on what we had before, which was quite difficult, and not just in terms of it being kind of buggy and slow to respond to certain changes, but the fact that this one is much more, as I say, kind of user friendly and responsive makes a massive difference to our processes. The fact that it also plugs into Magento in much the same way that the site does streamlines a lot of our processes. So probably about 70-80% of our work that we do for web consumption anyway is therefore kind of automatically reflected on the app. So it's probably saved easily kind of 40-50% of the man hours that we had to put into the old app. So yeah, massive improvement.
I have felt like they are part of our team as opposed to it being an external agency. It doesn't feel like an agency relationship at all, which I think has got to be said, has got to be a massive positive. I feel like I've got another engineering team, and it's just not a headache really. I think the greatest achievement is being able to synchronize and work hand in glove with our team here in Manchester. I really didn't want any relationship where it was going to become fractured or become painful in a way in which each team's getting in each other's way. And I think that my team here and the Godel team have worked very, very well together. I mean, we've had to build APIs, a software development kit, and a lot of integration work with our back-end platform, a hell of a lot of work, and all of that has needed to be integrated into the app which Godel have built. When you've got 2 teams and one's however far away, 1,000 miles away, and one's here, getting that synchronization doesn't come without effort. So I think both teams have made a great effort to really work well together, and always had a positive attitude about doing that. So I would advocate Godel, definitely. I think if you need to get resources up and running quickly, it's a really good choice. I think that compared to certainly recruitment permanent staff in Manchester or anywhere really in the UK, because those skills are in short supply, you're going to work with a business that's got great ethics, very transparent ways of working, great engineering capability. But what I will say is it isn't a free lunch. You're only going to get like anything back what you put in. So what you give in spades, you'll get back in buckets. So if you think you can get these guys as a team and then just give them the problem, and then your world's going to get miraculously transformed into something different, that just ain't going to happen. But if you know what you want, if you're willing to commit to it, if you're willing to do the work, and you're willing to work in a very collaborative, flexible way, and learn as you're going and adapt as you're going, you'll get a good product from Godel, I'm sure of that.
So to sum up the app in 3 words, I would say it's customizable, it's quick, and it's exponential.
The 3 words I would use to sum up working with Godel would be communication, collaboration, and success.